Welcome to another Ask Tyler with questions from the patrons and answers here on the YouTube. It was an exciting week one. We have so many questions, I might even have to do more than one show. But let's jump into the first one. So from Ty, with Achane's healthy and active, is he just not ready for the big stage? Could the Dolphins be in trade talks for Jonathan Taylor, or are the Dolphins giving Shoulder one more week? I got to be honest with you. I'm very concerned. He was a full participant in practice. Day 2 draft capital running backs should be ready week 1, especially since Jeff Wilson is on IR. I'm very concerned. I'm moving him down my rankings. I need to see this corrected immediately, very soon. Otherwise, it's a full-blown panic and he'll become a sell low for me. Next one. How worried are we with Drake London and Dallas Goedert, each getting only one target week 1? I'm concerned. However, much more concerned with Drake London. The Falcons' offense is just a disaster. They don't pass the ball, and they're not going to. So Drake London scares me for the short term. I still love him in Dynasty, but for the short term, I'm very scared. Goedert is a rotation problem. It's tough. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert are probably not all going to succeed in the same game. But the Eagles' offense is good, even if they're not super pass-heavy. So I'm not panicking on Dallas Goedert, but I think it's time to recognize what he is. He turns 29 in January. He's not young. And he's not got top 3 upside. So in Dynasty, I'm moving him down my rankings. He's not someone I'm really interested in. And I might even have him too high, to be honest. I'd rather have guys like Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid over Dallas Goedert in Dynasty. Any reason to start shopping Barkley, or should we hold? Not based on week 1. Week 1 isn't the problem with me for Saquon Barkley. I've been skeptical of him throughout the entire offseason. He's 26. He started to wear down at the end of last year, and he doesn't have a long-term contract. So I'm skeptical. He plays with Daniel Jones, who reduces his receiving upside because Jones runs. I've always been shopping Barkley. I've never been buying. So my opinion hasn't changed. It was negative before, and it's still negative now. Are we willing to let Allen Robinson, I never thought I'd mention Allen Robinson's name again, but here we are, crush our hopes and dreams yet again? He got a lot of action in the slot and now no Deontay Johnson. Well, I'm not so interested in Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson is washed. I will say he looked good. I think it's a mirage, but he did look better than he did last year or 2 years ago. Strange how that works, but maybe Mike Tomlin is just magic. Either way, Deontay Johnson is going to miss multiple weeks. George Pickens is going to step up. He's going to be the one, number 1 for sure. But I think that Calvin Austin is going to be the one that you want over Allen Robinson between the two. Calvin Austin had 6 receptions. He caught all of them for 36 yards, all targets. I was impressed with what I saw. He has some speed. I like that. So we'll see. But Calvin Austin is the one I'd be targeting. Maybe Pat Freiermuth gains a little bit too. But Allen Robinson, if you can get any third for him, I'll just take that in Dynasty and move on. I think he's done. Of course, the Jets. Sucks. Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps. Who do I think they'll sign or trade for at quarterback, if any? Well, Zach Wilson is their starter. He's going to be the starter. It sucks. It sucks. We know how bad Zach Wilson is. Maybe he got better, but even if he gets better, he's still going to be bad. So the question is there anyone they could sign? I mean, Carson Wentz is probably the best free agent on the market. I like the idea of signing him as a backup. Joe Flacco, if you want a more veteran backup, more of a coach. So those are not bad ideas. But in terms of a trade ahead of Zach Wilson, that's not happening right now. Maybe if the Jets continue to win games and Zach Wilson plays poorly, which is what happened on Monday night, then they'll look at the market. But otherwise, I don't think so. I love the way this question is worded. Do you think, in your personal opinion, that Jonathan Taylor plays again? Yes. Jonathan Taylor is going to play again. That is not really a question for me. If he plays on the Colts, do you think he has a high point season? Yes. I think that the Colts running backs we saw, Deion Jackson was abysmal. Evan Hull is now on IR. He's going to be out until through week 5. So JT can actually come back before Hull. And if he were to go elsewhere, I still think he's going to come back to the Colts. I don't see the trade happening. I did float a trade scenario with the Ravens where the Ravens involve Rashaad Bateman in a Jonathan Taylor trade. The Ravens are one of the only teams that I think would really be interested in Jonathan Taylor. They use a workhorse running back. Check. J.K. Dobbins was a workhorse before he went down. Run-heavy team. Check. They don't have a running back under a high-end contract. Check. Run-heavy offense. Check. Playoff contender. Check. They're one of the only teams that I could see possibly trading for Jonathan Taylor, but I still lean that he goes to the Colts. Either way, I think he's going to be good no matter where he goes. This question, a redraft PPR question. Start 3, sit 2, cut 1. So it's actually listed in a very good order. I would start Lamb, Evans, and Pittman. I have Lamb very high this week. Evans and Pittman are borderline wide receiver 2s. Nacua is a hold for me. I'm going to hold on to Nacua. I have him a wide receiver like 32 this week. Not rushing to start him. JSN, I love. Long term. This week, could pass. And Rashee Rice is obviously the cut. I don't think the upside's there. It might develop later, but in redraft, I can't wait for Rashee Rice. He was like 5th in snaps on the Chiefs. And then among those quarterbacks, Fields, Love, and Dak, I'll still cut Love. The other two have more upside, but Love is getting close to Dak. It's not as far off as it was. Who's the best choice for a dynasty stash right now? Clayton Tune or Aiden O'Connell? I'm still going with Clayton Tune. Jimmy Garoppolo was not the problem with the Raiders in week 1. They won, and Garoppolo was apparently the leader in some quarterback metrics for the week. Maybe that says that the quarterback metrics are broken, but I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is anywhere near the bench, whereas I think Clayton Tune could go in week 3. So Clayton Tune is the stash. Maybe he has some upside. Aiden O'Connell. It's funny, when I was looking at the question sheet, it took me a while to realize that AOC was Aiden O'Connell and not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So, just shows how much Aiden O'Connell is not on my mind right now. Is there a world in which a pass-catching master, he's not, Melvin Gordon is the back to have in Baltimore? I really don't think so. I think that from their careers, Gus Edwards is a better back than Justice Hill. I think that is fair. I think we know that. However, Justice Hill got 2 touchdowns. He was 8 of 9. 8 carries for 9 yards. He wasn't good. He wasn't super involved in the passing game either. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be activated for this week. I think all 3 running backs are going to play. I have Gus Edwards ranked a little bit ahead of Justice Hill, but they're very close. Melvin Gordon, I don't have ranked at all. And I think Keaton Mitchell off of IR. He made the team over Melvin Gordon. I think they wanted to give him a role, but he was hurt. But he made the team, so other teams, they didn't try to put him on the practice squad. Someone would have claimed him. So I think Keaton Mitchell, when he returns to health, could be someone who challenges for the starting role. I mean, he could easily be better than Edwards or Hill. Now, do I think Baltimore could add a veteran? Absolutely. Probably Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt. I don't think they add anyone else. We'll see. I think they're going to try out the Hill Edwards Gordon committee for a week. If it's really bad, I think they could add someone for week 3. Is there any world in which I think Gordon is the back to own? I'm going to say no. Did I take some extra attention for Deontay Hardy and Braxton Berrios? Let's go with Deontay Hardy first. Absolutely not. The Bills ran 12 personnel as their base offense. Like 80% of their plays came out of 12. So Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are starters. And then Diggs and Gabe Davis are starters. And then a running back, James Cook, played a majority of the snaps. That's their 5. When they play 11, Deontay Hardy was in, but Deontay Hardy's really a kick returner. I think basically you can kind of, those additional Bills receivers, I've moved into cut range in Dynasty. There's Khalil Shakir, Deontay Hardy, and Justin Shorter, and they're all outside my top 275 players, so they can go. As for Braxton Berrios, not really. He had a couple looks, but River Craycraft was in. Eric Ezukanma, or however you pronounce that, was in. Durham Smythe is the one, if you had to, take a stash on Miami that I would like. He played 100% of the snaps, which is insane to me. every single snap Durham Smythe played. I don't know why, but that's what happened. So if you have a stash on Miami, it's Durham Smythe, not Braxton Berrios. What is the timeline for Ryan Tannehill being removed from office? I like this. And who takes over? Soon. If Ryan Tannehill has 2 to 3 more bad games, he's going to be benched because this is the last year of his contract. If they're 0-4 or 0-5, they're going to pull the plug on Ryan Tannehill. I know they signed DeAndre Hopkins, but that's not going to say that they're just going to go all in blindly. If Ryan Tannehill can't get it done, they're going to replace him. And I think that Malik Willis would get the first chance to replace him. And then if he can't do it, Will Levis will go in. Malik Willis is a must-add in Superflex leagues. He should not be on waivers. I think there's a real chance he gets some playing time this year. Now, if Ryan Tannehill sees the bench and is removed from the starting lineup entirely, I could see the Jets calling then in like 5 weeks because I do think Ryan Tannehill is still better than Zach Wilson. The Jets are a far better team than the Titans. So maybe Tannehill could succeed there, even if he can't succeed on the Titans. But soon, I think Tannehill is the prime quarterback as a contender to be moved before the trade deadline. Is T. Higgins sulking a bit over his contract negotiations? Absolutely not. There was nothing wrong with T. Higgins. He had 8. I'm going to do what Jason Moore did on Fantasy Football. He had 8 targets. Apparently, 2 of them were in the vicinity. The other 6 were way over his head, all over the place. Joe Burrow played a crappy game. So that's what you got to say. That's what happened. T. Higgins was out there. He was targeted. The offense did not move. There's no problem with T. Higgins. The problem is that Joe Burrow played poorly. T. Higgins is my biggest buy in Dynasty and Redraft, by the way, after week 1. Biggest buy because there's nothing wrong with him. Is Gainwell really the back to have in Philly, or is Sirianni just continuing what he did in the preseason? When healthy, I think Gainwell is the man. He's going to miss this week. If it's not obvious, I'm recording this in the middle of the day on Wednesday. So in case something came up in the last 24 hours, I don't know it. But I do know when recording this that Gainwell is out for Thursday. So I expect DeAndre Swift to be the starter and then Rashaad Penny to mix in. But I think that Kenneth Gainwell won this job. And I think Kenneth Gainwell is probably only going to miss this 1 week. It's a short week. I think if the game were Sunday, he might play. But since it's a short week, I think he's going to miss. And I think that week 3, Kenneth Gainwell, I'm going to rank him as the starter. I don't care what DeAndre Swift does. I'm going to rank Kenneth Gainwell as the starter when he's healthy. So that's my answer to this. And then the last one here. I've had the same job for 20 years. I'm curious, how do you keep from burning out on this gig? It's a great question. Honestly, I don't. I get burnt out a lot. I mean, you can see me on the YouTube channel. I feel the burnout. The one thing is I just try to manage my energy the best I can and focus on what's more important. So the way it works is most important is patrons. They're paying me to do this. They're paying me. They're paying for advice. So I have to deliver. I make sure I deliver the spreadsheet, Start Sit, and Dynasty. I make sure that I answer all of their questions. These questions for this show all came from the Patreon. And then I deliver answers in DMs at the DM Patreon tiers and also on the Patreon Discord, which you can sign up for at patreon.com/fantasyadvice. Then I try to focus on the YouTube, especially people who come and watch the show live. If you're taking up time to watch the show live, I really appreciate you. It takes some energy to do that. It takes some effort. Not a lot of people do that. There's a lot of competition on YouTube. The main way I keep from burning out, though, is focusing less on Twitter/X. Anyone can ask me a question there. It's not costing them anything. They could ask a zillion people the same question. They're not really giving me anything. So I'm trying to focus less on doing stuff on there, more on the Patreon and the YouTube. I go on X, but it's mostly to promote other stuff. And I do still do Start Sit on there. But other than that, I didn't do any waiver questions on there. So pointing people to Patreon. And I really suggest people sign up to the Patreon because the YouTube channel and the X Twitter stuff is not going to exist without it. So patreon.com/fantasyadvice if you're interested. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's what keeps the YouTube channel going. And remember that the main show is every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can get your questions in live. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out.